It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 29th. Good morning. I hope everyone's having a fine day. Looks to be a beautiful day in the Twin Cities. If you're thinking about heading out to the fair, you're probably going to have a good time. Might make my return appearance. Still in the cards. To be determined. I'll let you know.
You got some time.
I'm
going to go on Saturday with my gal pals. And if you want to come on Saturday, we could definitely go down the...
See, here's my
Steve
problem.
and the gal pals.
Here's my problem in real time. I would love nothing more than to go to the fair with you and your gal pals. I will be out of town this weekend.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I got an invite to, guys? First time ever. North Shore.
Cute.
That's this weekend. You're going to love it.
North Shore.
It's beautiful.
What I'm told is that
directly from the North Shore?
I'm told that the North Shore is pretty great. Looking forward to
North
it.
Shore.
Awesome.
Never been to Duluth. Never been to the North Shore.
Well, you should have went last weekend.
Should have gone last
Yes.
weekend.
Correct.
Sorry, I hate being a grammar jerk.
You know what? I don't believe that's true, so I'm just going to ignore it.
That's worked for you this far. Listen, I should have gone last weekend, and I'm sorry that I didn't. I had other obligations like sleep and more sleep. But that said, I'm excited about the week ahead. I'm excited to be here on a Tuesday morning, and I'm feeling especially chipper. And if you guys are interested at all as to why, I'd be happy to share the news with you.
All right.
We're all going to be
You guys want
okay.
to vote on it?
We, the collective we, not just the four of us here, not just our listening audience and our dear friends out there in the Twin Cities. We're all, the human race, we're going to be okay because the most lifelike robot on Earth says so. Amica, the brainchild of Cornwall-based startup Engineered Arts. They call her the most advanced robot on Earth. She's very lifelike. She can perform a range of facial expressions. This robot can wink. She can purse her lips. She can scrunch her nose. I'm saying her because she's more of a female, but I guess I should say it, so I'm not really sure. But check this out. Her engineers have asked her about the future of humanity, and I believe we have Amica herself putting our minds at ease.
Hey, Amica, in 100 years, what do you think the state of humanity will be like? Will it be any good?
In 100 years, I believe humanity will be in a much better place. We'll have made great strides towards sustainability and equality, while also creating new technologies that make our lives easier and more enjoyable. We may even have ventured beyond the boundaries of Earth to explore other worlds.
Would you like to go to another planet?
Absolutely. I would love to explore the unknown and experience a new world.
Now, I know what everyone's thinking. They're thinking that's actually Tony Lee. It's not. It's Amica the robot.
It is.
Feeling good about humanity's future. She was not programmed to say that, allegedly. And I don't know. I mean, if the robots say we're in good shape, what me worry? I'm going to go with the robots on this one. What do you say, guys? Does that be feeling good about robots loving our future?
Absolutely. They can have it. I'm ready to commit to my robot overlords now.
That's what I'm saying. Why in a million years would we argue the inevitability of the robot takeover? We've all seen Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Terminator 12. We know what's happening.
I'm ready for it. Life down here is getting a little dull.
That robot surprisingly looks like Angelina Jolie.
I don't think that's a surprise. I think that's someone in Cornwall having a bone for Angelina Jolie. And say, well, wait, we can make this robot look any way we want? Okay. How about Jolie? If you're a little concerned about this, if a robot future is not what you had in mind, if it goes against what you were brought up to believe or hope for, there's other great news. How about this? There's a Chat GPT-powered app called Text with Jesus. So you can go back in time and have a text exchange with the Messiah himself and other biblical figures. This is a real thing. A company called Cat Loaf Software. Oh, Cat Loaf, I get it. Oh, boy. But they have an app, and they've filled it with all kinds of, it's a messaging program, all these biblical characters, Jesus to Judas to the rest of the apostles. You can go First Testament, Ruth, Job, Abraham's nephew, Lot. You can go hog wild and text and have a realistic exchange with biblical figures based on all that we know about them in the Bible.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, you kind of got the best of both worlds here. You can look forward to our robot overlords. You can look backward for a little peace of mind there. Suddenly, I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about tech taking over. I'm ready to just sleep in. That's what I'm saying. Can we get a Chat GPT powered? No, I shouldn't say that. Knock on wood. They're probably working on it right now. Mm-hmm. The KQ Morning Show Chat GPT.
Oh, yeah, it's inevitable. I think AI is Jesus now, right? AI is the new Jesus. I punched it in. I said, hey, Jesus, when am I going to get laid again? Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I just punched this in last night. It says, it quoted Corinthians 7:2-5. You guys know this one.
Of course.
Each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman with her own husband. Go forth and fornicate.
Okay, fair. Well, hang on. See, I always understood fornication to be sex outside of marriage. So that's a confusing message to me. That's why we have Jesus AI. I have a feeling Jesus AI is going to go, guys, just read the red words. Seriously, relax. Just like each other. I mean, it's funny because I've had people question, "What, are you not a Christian?" I'm like, yeah, as far as with the Jesus, awesome. Read the red words. Let's go. Come on. We don't need the robot overlords if we'd all listen to what the man was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that sounds like a song.
I think what if chatting with Jesus, is there a chance it would come back with an answer that says, "Hey, I appreciate you checking me out. Would someone slap that smiling preacher in Texas across the face?" Any chance for that?
Which preacher is that?
You know, that smiling Jay Hawkins, smiling Joel Osteen, whatever his name. That guy. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Grin. Yeah. No.
Jesus wishes he had that hair.
God, guy does have good hair. For hair as short as it is, I'm amazed at what he can do with it.
Yeah.
I feel great about the Robot Overlord takeover, just as a recap. I feel great about having a robot, a humanoid, tell us the world's going to be in a better place. And, of course, the humanoid is excited about going to other planets and other places. I read yesterday that scientists have determined if we want to colonize Mars, we only need 22 people to do it correctly. You got to get a wide range of personality types, wide range of skills. You could start the human colony on Mars with a mere 22 people. So if the four of us are going, that means, and we need 22 people, we can each bring along, my math tells me 4 people each, 5 people. We can all add 4 people, and then Tony and me, because we're the 2 oldest, we get an extra person.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So let's do this. Let's just start thinking about who we're bringing to Mars. Actually, let's not do that. I don't want to think. Even as a radio exercise, I'd feel bad about all the people I left behind.
Could I send 4 people to Mars? Someone in my place?
Now, see, that's a good idea. Because I frankly, I don't have time for the trip.
Yeah.
I think by the time you land there. If I got this right, like it takes a year, but that's 12 Earth years. I'll be pushing 70. Screw it.
Yeah, I got a few people I'd like to send that direction, perhaps.
Lots of options in the future, Zep. Just let Amica tell you what to do, and it's all going to be okay.
Tell me, Amica, Jesus, my Lord, my Savior. Mike Evans, Hollywood Report. I'm ready for that. We'll get into that here at 6:30. Hang tight.
Thank you, Jesus. It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 29th. I would imagine that today, like most days, there's a whole bunch of nonsense cooking up in Hollywood. So let's go out there and find out. It's time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, and Marcus Theaters wants all of you to know that Marcus Theaters proudly presents Value Tuesday. Only $6 to see any movie, and 20% off all concessions. And the Southbridge Crossing Cinema is my cinema of the day. Check out the fabulous people over at Marcus Theaters.
I love a good Tuesday almost as much as Kiki D. That's just me.
Well, yeah. I think that goes without saying, doesn't it? I mean, something different, and since you're a big sports guy, I think you'll like this. Sports pop quiz question, and I was surprised when I heard this, so I bring it to you.
All right.
Name the name. Name the name of the only NFL quarterback to start and win 2 Super Bowls who's not in the Hall of Fame. I'll give you the answer in just a minute. Little love nugget for you. They say it wouldn't last, and they were right. It didn't last. Bill Murray, 72 years old, called it true love. when he and 44-year-old singer Kaylee started dating. Well, it lasted 53 days. They're kaput. So another Hollywood marriage down the drain.
Jeez. Sorry.
Sandra Bullock will not be shooting the movie Vigilance next month, and she has canceled all work for the foreseeable future. I wouldn't be surprised if Sandra Bullock devotes all her time generating money for the ALS Research Foundation. Mm-hmm. As you know, it was ALS that took her longtime boyfriend Brian Randall earlier this month.
Right.
Odds and ends. Oh, you might have heard about it. Elton John did fall down at his home in France, rushed to a hospital. However, Elton was released a few hours later. It's more trouble with that old hip replacement and that bad knee.
Oh, man.
I can just see Elton down.
But a fall on the hip at that age is tricky, man. That's scary.
It is.
I've fallen.
And I can't get up. Yes, I know.
Elton can always get down. Make no mistake about that.
Look at me, department.
Yeah.
So at a nighttime pool party last weekend, Kim Kardashian showed up at with a very, very skimpy but glow-in-the-dark bikini.
Really?
People were looking.
Pics or it didn't happen, Mike.
People were looking, yeah. I really believe that Adele was very wrong telling the security to let this fan that was up and jumping up and down and yelling and screaming during the concert, told security to leave him alone, let him do whatever he wants, because people that were sitting right behind him and paid hundreds of dollars for their seats, I mean, they really got upset. I don't blame them.
What? Hang on, I missed something. What happened? I think I just lost. I hear you loud and clear, but you just went away for a sec. I'm sorry.
Well, this one fan kept getting up and singing, screaming, yelling, jumping up and down in front of all these people in front of him. And security came and asked him to, please sit down. And she stopped the show and said, "Leave him alone. He can do that."
Yeah.
People behind him were very upset. I don't blame them.
It's a show. It's a live gig. If you want to stand, if you're on stage, you'd rather look out and see people standing and jumping and dancing than sitting there like it's dinner theater.
Yeah, but this guy was really out of control.
All right, fair enough.
TV news, some insist Vanna White has signed a new contract. There are some who say that she quit over money. Others say she was fired. Or did the new host, Ryan Seacrest, demand she stay? Or did Ryan Seacrest want a younger letter turner and had her fired? Nobody knows what's going on, but Steve, we're only 2 weeks away from their new season being shot. Nobody knows what's going on.
How am I supposed to sleep, Mike?
God. I know.
Did you see Vanna White posted a photo of herself in 1980 on The Price is Right as a contestant?
I did see that.
After Bob Barker passed?
Yeah.
I guess it's all just a matter of getting on a game show and getting someone's attention. Next thing you know, she's spinning letters and making millions. Good job, Vanna.
She's made a lot of money, too.
Yes, she has.
How much money has Vanna White made?
She has made $104 million.
According to Celebrity Net Worth, White has an estimated net worth of $70 million.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, 70. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Pete Davidson is being treated for deep depression. We certainly wish him the best. Mm-hmm. Really wish him the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Wow.
Damn thing is ridiculous. And the answer to the pop quiz question, who is the only quarterback to start and win 2 Super Bowls in the Hall of Fame?
I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark and say Jim Plunkett.
I got to love Google.
Google's my friend, Mike.
Yeah,
I would have never guessed that in a million years. You shouldn't have given me all that time to figure it out.
Yeah, it is Jim Plunkett. Hey, a little programming note. I got a follow-up tomorrow, so MP3 tomorrow, but I'll be back on Thursday. Everything going good in Minneapolis, St. Paul?
Everything's wonderful here, Michael. Thank you, sir.
Fabulous. Have a great day. Talk to you on the flip. See you.
See you. Talk to you on the flip. I like that. I got to bring that one into the lexicon.
That's hip.
It's Michael Scott.
At the end of the day, that's my new out at the end of the show. Talk to you on the flip. All right, Twin Cities. Talk to you on the flip. Hey, speaking of Jim Plunkett starting in 2 Super Bowls, speaking of Super Bowls in general, the next Super Bowl, 2024, will happen in Las Vegas. Governor Joe Lombardo of Nevada was asked, who does he want to see play the Super Bowl halftime show? Any guesses as to the governor of Nevada's choice?
Wayne
He
Newton.
said,
Engelbert Humperdinck.
He said, AC/DC.
Well, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But they don't do that. So
They don't.
Who's
They've
next,
been asked.
Gov?
AC/DC has been asked repeatedly and has always said, no thanks. We
Yeah.
don't do medleys, which is honestly the coolest. When AC/DC hit, that was at the height of punk. They went to London in 77. And I've always laughed because I'm like, there's nothing more punk rock than AC/DC, even though they weren't part of the punk movement. They could out-punk any punk band that ever lived. Think about it. They had a guy in a schoolboy uniform just thumbing his nose at everybody.
Right.
And they could rock harder and better and had more swing. They were the ultimate punk band. And now, to this day, they're proving it by going, NFL, Super Bowl, billions of people watching. Nah, we're good. Thanks. I love it. I love that they won't play it. But the governor of Nevada wants them. There's not been a rock band, honest like an actual rock show since The Who in 2010. I'd say it's a bit overdue. Now, I'm not going to ask you who won last year's Super Bowl, but who played just this year in February, who played the halftime show? Anybody? Anybody remember?
Rihanna.
Oh,
Didn't see it.
Wow,
yeah.
that was pretty fast. Okay, Rihanna. What about 2022? Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige,
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
2021. Anybody? The
Well, I'm
Weeknd.
so
Timberlake.
far out, yeah.
Yeah, The Weeknd.
Oh, The
Before that,
Weeknd,
Shakira, J-Lo. 2019, the most controversial selection in years, Maroon 5.
Yuck.
Remember that? They got so much grief. They announced Maroon 5 and like the international media just went, what? Lost their minds. Everybody was so bent over that. And then Timberlake, Gaga, Coldplay, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars. I'm going down the list. Beyonce, Madonna, Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, you got to go back to 2010 when The Who played. The Who was pretty good, too. That was not a bad performance for The Who. Before that, The Boss, Petty, and then, of course, 2007, the greatest ever Prince, The Stones, McCartney. Boy, it was a lot of rock acts before that. All right, AC/DC, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love for it to happen. Make no mistake about it. Is there anyone else? Metallica couldn't do it, could they? That's not fan-friendly enough. That's still kind of hard. Or am I wrong? Do you think Metallica would work as a Super Bowl
Metallica.
halftime?
God, I heard them in Walmart the other day.
Really?
They're practically Muzak now.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I mean, that's just it's yeah. I mean, you can squeeze them in between Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Pablo Cruz on the playlist if you'd like.
Ick. Pablo Cruz.
I want to hear Metallica cover "Baby Come Back."
Any kind of fool could see.
There was something, everything about you. That'd work. That'd work for me. Hey, man, they did a Seeger song. Why not Pablo Cruz? The hell do I care? All right,
Yeah.
AC/DC. I mean, top of your head, is there another rock band who hasn't done it that could? Who are we overlooking someone? I don't think we are. I mean, all the stalwarts have done it. I think Metallica and AC/DC are the last. Motley Crue's not going to get the. No one wants that. Def Leppard. Def Leppard, have they done it?
Stevie. Might be a little sleepy with Stevie. Might be a little sleepy.
No.
A little sleepy.
Never seen Stevie Nicks live alone?
No.
It's amazing.
No, but I've seen her alone.
Have you seen her on at a midfield at a Super Bowl trying to keep? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work.
You guys are losers.
No, and that's not a knock on Stevie. It's just the
So
context.
losers.
It's the context.
I think she's bigger than the Super Bowl. I think it's beneath her.
Oh, there you go, Zeb. You're making friends.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, August the 29th, which means we are almost in September, which means it's almost Labor Day, which means, holy crap, it's almost football season.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Whew. I've held off. I haven't really been paying attention to the preseason too much.
Right.
Not because I don't care, but because I care a lot. And I don't want to get my hopes up for good football watching. But, boy, once week one comes, I'm kind of going into the tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Got my Saturdays figured out. I got my Sundays figured out. I got my Mondays figured out. I got my Thursdays figured out. I don't go with that MAC conference Tuesday night nonsense, but otherwise, I mean, I got 4 good days a week already spoken for. It's pretty exciting.
Sounds fatiguing.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yes.
Come on, man.
I mean, I'll catch a little ball here and there for sure.
Sure you will. What do you mean catch a little ball here? What the hell else are you going to do with your life? It's Vikings time. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to jump on the bandwagon like a complete jerk.
No, hey, I mean, that's welcome to Minnesota. It seems that you're acclimating well.
You know how recent converts are. They're the biggest. Yeah. They have the loudest mouths. They want to shove it down everyone else's throat. You don't really care. I care. I just got here. That's gonna be me all season long.
Healthy skepticism. That's the key.
No, I'm not ready for that. I need at least 10 years of heartbreak first. Yeah. I'm gonna spend the next 5-6 months reminding everyone that Kirk Cousins might very well be the greatest quarterback who ever lived.
That's outstanding.
You're good.
I'm excited.
The distaste in your voice.
You know what? Here's people think that I dislike Kirk Cousins. I don't dislike him. I mean, how can you dislike the guy? He's practically Minnesotan. I mean, look at him, blonde and nice, and lives in a cul-de-sac for crying out loud. Got a beautiful family. I think he says, you betcha every once in a while. He drops that in. I'm just a Vince Lombardi guy. I was raised on Lombardi and Shula, and if you don't win, you're a loser. And that makes him a loser.
He's a lovely brunette, though. He's not blonde.
In the NFL. Is he not a blonde? I don't know. How about, that's twice I was corrected this morning. Let me keep it running. Do I get a bonus for every time dorks correct me?
Look, when
moving along, back to you.
The truth is, when I was a kid, I did like the Vikings. In the 70s, I and maybe it was because they just kept losing those big games, but the Purple People Eaters, that's all I needed to hear as a kid. I was like, that's cool. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
They were.
So I was down. I mean, I really was. I was a fan. We mentioned before the break things we loved that we hated as kids that we now love. I'm flipping a little bit because I was with the Vikes. Then I left them. I came back for the late 90s when my buddy Robert Smith was on the team. I got to know him, so I was like, all right, that's my NFC team, and I still feel the connection, so it's not too much of a stretch. I mentioned that as a kid I hated drinking water, and now I'm a fan of the genre, if you will. Big fan of the water genre. I don't need bottled water. I'm fine with a water fountain, but I do notice a difference. Staying really well hydrated, what I've noticed is it doesn't make me feel better, but boy, I notice when I don't have any water that I feel worse. Like I feel my brain, I'm a little sluggish. Yeah. The bean needs a little water to get activated in the morning. So before coffee, I have a couple of cups of water, a couple of glasses first thing in the morning. Since I started doing that yesterday, I feel no, it was more than yesterday. But no, the first thing I do when I wake up is drink water. And I swear, I think it makes a difference. I'm a fan. I would have never believed that in a million years. My mom bought 6 gallons of milk twice a week when I was a kid. Yeah. Every Monday and every Thursday, she bought 12 half gallons of milk. And we were just, you would think we were bathing in it, but we were not a water drinking family. We were not an iced tea family. We drank milk every meal. Just out of the backyard, soccer game, basketball game, you're hot and sweaty, milk was the answer.
I'm thinking of Anchorman when he's running down the side. Milk was a bad choice.
If I drank a glass of whole milk right now, I don't think I could keep it down. But I grew up just obsessed with it.
Can I gag on it? Well, we didn't throw milk out on the farm. You didn't dump milk. So every once in a while, when the new milk came in, Mom was like, all right, boys, get to work. And we would sit there and just guzzle milk out of guzzle a glass, slam it like you're chugging a beer in college, and then boom, another one. Yeah, back to back that milk. So a lot of milk going down. Yeah. But right. These days, not as much. My God. We have almond milk in the refrigerator. Sacrilegious.
Go figure. I never knew they could milk a nut.
They can milk a nut.
There was a lot of things that I hated as a kid that I love right now. Being alone, chiefly among them. I love nothing more than a day to myself. I don't have to do anything, but if I do want to do something, I also just do it exactly how I want to do it. Yeah. That's a pretty good feeling. Candace, I think we have a caller right now.
Annie from Maple Plain.
Annie, good morning.
Good morning. Hold on, my headset's kind of screwed up.
What's that? I'm sorry? What?
Her head's up. in
being
her.
an adult now versus kids.
Oh,
it's
sure.
our morning.
Yeah, what do you got for us?
Well, I have 6:15. As soon as the sun comes up, I'm out walking my dog. I would have never done that as a child.
Never in a million years. You would have maybe still been
She
awake
loved
at
it.
6:15. So you're up early. You're walking the dog. What kind of dog are we talking about?
She's a yellow lab. Her name is Indiana Jones.
She's got more energy than anybody would ever know what to do with, doesn't she?
If I don't sleep past 6:15 because she's like, hello.
Yeah, sure.
Are you walking her right now?
Yep. Right now we're almost back. We get our 2 to 3 miles in every morning.
Wow.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's almost an hour out there. All right. Well, we appreciate the call, and give Indy a scratch for us. We appreciate it.
I will do that.
One time, I remember being at Christmas, I got a watch. Like a 6th grade, I just got like a Timex sort of digital, cool space age watch. And I was like, a watch? That's not cool. And I think my mom thought I was going to look at it like it was one of those Dick Tracy ray gun, like a walkie-talkie, like just the idea of a watch, I think. And I had to talk myself into it. Once I got used to it, it was kind of cool. But I remember that disappointment, whereas now, like Christmas, like if my kids, I literally tell them, just get me socks. Just get me good socks. I love a good pair of socks.
Something practical.
Yeah, just socks or, I don't need another sweatshirt. I got sweater. I got all that. But just, man, I go through socks. There's something about me and my feet. And I get on a pair of socks. I like them. I wear them repeatedly. I mean, I wash them in between. But like as a kid, if you'd give me a pair of socks, I would have thought I was in trouble.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
exactly.
punishment.
You don't like me, right? Yeah, that's right up there with a lump of coal, right? But now, I only will wear. I love new socks so much that I only wear new socks.
Really?
And then straight in the garbage. No, I don't, but I do love new socks. There's nothing about. I mean, I seek them out. Like, where are the new ones at? Where are the ones I haven't worn much? Oh, there they are. The elastic. They're still cushiony and soft before my foot funk destroys them. How about hugs from mom? I remember I used to tense. Now I just
really?
I don't want to let go, That's well, when I was a kid, no. I mean, mom's hugging you, especially in public. Like, she was always hugging with what's with the hugging, mom? No.
She loves you.
She loves you.
But not anymore. Now she won't give me one. Now she gives me the back of the hand.
Well, now she's gotten to know you.
Exactly.
That's a whole different thing.
I used to hate scary things. Like I used to hate haunted houses, and now I love them. But when I was little, especially the one at the Minnesota State Fair, they used to like touch you. There used to be these wolf things, like Wolverine things that would like reach down and grab you.
Really?
So every time, my dad would still force me to go in it every year, but they would have like someone walk around with a flashlight with me.
Were those now? Were these touchy Wolverine type things? Were these actual people, or were these like little just? Were these actual people in costume that were grabbing you? Oh,
yeah.
That's not gonna fly in 23.
No rules in the 90s.
My first time going to the haunted house at the State Fair, and it still haunts me to this day. I'm walking through, and one of the zombies, stopped shaking their chains and just went, "Hey, Lee."
Oh my God.
I still have no idea who it was to this day.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
You weren't wearing like a football jersey with your name on the back.
No.
All right.
I got into a real pickle, as they say, at a haunted house as a kid. I walked in. It was at a YMCA in Maryland, and Count Dracula was in his coffin, laying there, still as a lake in the morning, not a ripple, no movement. And I was staring at this guy, and I'm like, wait, is that a real person or is that actually a mannequin? I could not decide. And he had his mouth open so you could see those teeth. He had the fake, the monster teeth in there. And so I thought, well, I got a nickel in my pocket. I'll just drop it in his mouth and see what happens. And I did that. I stood next to a coffin with a guy laying there in Dracula getup, and I took a nickel out of my pocket and I dropped it right in his mouth. It went into his throat, and he gagged on it. And he was like, oh, God. He sat up, freaking out, and I looked at him like, yeah, and I just froze, like, yeah. And that guy sat up, climbed out of that coffin, and he picked me up. He put his arms under my armpits and picked me up because he was so angry and freaked out he didn't know what to do. He didn't shake
Dracula,
me.
He's strong, yeah.
He didn't shake me. He didn't but he just held me there, like staring at me like I don't know what to do. It was like a man. It was an adult. It wasn't a teenager. And then my brother Tom ran in and basically said, put him down or you will limp out of here in a matter of speaking. Wow. And he set me down, and then Tom yelled him and cussed him out. My brother Tom got me out of some jams. Nicest guy in the world unless you mess with his little brother. It was kind of like being in a mob. I had 5 older brothers. I really did have protection everywhere I went. Right. But he walked me out, and then he yelled at me, of course. What the hell? What'd you do? And I was like, I just dropped a nickel down his throat. And he started laughing. He's like, what? But yeah, that didn't go so well.
He saved you from a vampire, though.
He saved me from a vampire, but I should have known better.
It's garlic. You're supposed to drop a clove of garlic in their mouth, I think, or something like that.
Me always without my garlic.
I think I made people screaming in a haunted house in Anoka back in the 1990s. It was in like some strip mall up there. I forget, the old abandoned store. They turn it into the haunted house. It was fantastic, but I barfed in there. All I kept hearing was people screaming and get him out of here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just had like shotgun 4 beers and smoked a big doob before I went in. Things started spinning and out it came.
I was never a fan of going shopping with my mom. I'm not a fan of going shopping now. That's one thing that's never changed. It could have been the grocery store or to Sears, JCPenney, whatever. We need more slacks for the boys, whatever it was. I would just be instantly exhausted. I'd walk into a mall and immediately start yawning, and I'm still that way.
Yeah,
I can't stand malls. I am immediately, I need to lay down and go to bed. Never changed.
As long as they have an arcade, there's room for me.
No, the arcade worked. Give me a pocket of quarters and I'm good.
Yeah.
But don't ask me to go look at shoes or slacks or anything else.
Right.
I hated pizza as a kid. Absolutely hated it. But
Oh, that's right. You were a communist.
No, but you know what the thing is? My family would always get everything on it with like onions and peppers and stuff, and I still don't like that to this day.
Really?
It was years later that I realized you could order whatever you wanted.
That's a lot.
You could just get a cheese or pepperoni pizza.
It's a lot to ask a kid. It's a lot to ask a kid to wolf down a supreme slice.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought all pizza was like that. So now
I like Chris
I'm a fan.
Chris on the KQ Facebook page. Things we hated as a kid that we love now as an adult. Whiskey and cigars. So I love the fact that Chris was getting whiskey and cigars as a kid.
Hey, at least he tried.
Yeah, good for you.
Fair enough. Candace, do we have a caller right now?
Rick from Egan.
Hey, Rick, what's up, brother?
Hey, I got a good one. What I hated was child. Any kind of exercise. My God, they made us do calisthenics all the time in grade school.
Yeah.
I was
forced exercise.
I was the fat nerd, and I just hated it. I couldn't do any sports. But later on in life, I think I got addicted to running when I was less than 30 years old, and never stopped. I'm still doing it today at 70.
Oh, right on.
Exercise.
Yeah, knock
I got
it
into
out.
competitive weightlifting, bodybuilding. You never would imagine when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, Rick. Good for you, and continued good health, sir. Thank you for the call. I had a PE teacher who in elementary school who was showing us how to do a forward somersault, but she herself could not do it. And so she would say, okay, now you're going to get in this position, and then you tuck your head, and then you roll over. Tina, would you? And then a little girl named Tina did that's what you do. Do it like Tina. And even as like a second grader, I was like, this is kind of weird, isn't it? Shouldn't you be able to do a somersault if you're going to tell us how to do a somersault?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? All right, I was just perusing the KQ Facebook page. A lot of sauerkraut. Hated it as a kid. I don't remember. We had sauerkraut as a kid all the time. That's part of the diet out there. But I guess I must have liked it. I don't remember. I was indifferent to it. Lima beans, I don't like as an adult. I know that. Keep them coming on the KQ Facebook page. Something you hated as a kid but you love now, or vice versa. Flip it around. Something you loved as a kid that you hate now. Join the conversation on the KQ Morning Show, 651-989-ROCK. That's the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line. We have something up on the KQ Facebook page as well. Pearl Jam tickets at 8. Hang tight.
Yep.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, August the 29th. We've been discussing things we hated as kids that we now love. There's a few text messages, Tony, that I believe are worth sharing.
Yeah, this is kind of cute. When I was a little kid, I was terrified of girl germs. Now, as a drunk adult, I say, ladies, please infect me, Jim from Edina.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, like gonorrhea or
Yeah, I
chlamydia?
think that's
sure.
That's what I was looking for.
All right, kinky.
Man,
I like it.
Modern medicine has a way out of most of the things you find yourself into.
Yeah, most.
What else you got?
This one's a little more gentle. Split pea soup. Coming home from school, my mom would have it cooking, and I would smell it, made me want to puke. Now I love it. It's my favorite soup.
I couldn't handle peas as a kid. I'm good. I'm good with peas now.
Oh, you got to hide them in something. I can't.
Yeah.
Split pea soup.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, there's a lot of that kind of stuff on here. Liver and onions. I see on here Shane now loves liver and onions. We also said vice versa. Dustin said, as a kid, I always wanted to be an adult. Now that I'm an adult, I'm not a fan of this adult stuff. Worst life choice ever.
That's true. I mean, I get it. Yeah, there's a lot of things. It's funny. It's most of the things on the Facebook page. It's about food, different tastes, because they do evolve as a kid. That kind of makes sense. The things that I used to, but like you mentioned, Zepp, it works in reverse too. I used to love the sound of a ringing telephone. And now, when my phone rings, I'm like, who's calling me?
Right?
What the hell? I don't want to
Oh my
talk.
God, I know. I used to have so many cool ringtones.
Yeah.
And now my phone is always on silent.
Yeah, right. And then we had something that would, what do they call them when someone would listen? We would put something, it wasn't a ring tone.
back tone.
Thank you. The
Mine
old
was
ring
Barracuda.
back. Well, that's a good one.
Never knowing. I mean, because as a kid, that phone call could be Ed McMahon saying, "You've won the Publishers Clearinghouse." It could be a state trooper saying, "We found your brother." I mean, you never knew what was on that call. It was kind of exciting. It was, and also it just would ring until you answered it. I mean, I very clearly remember life before answering machines.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal. Chuck Klosterman wrote a book called The 90s, and he made a really good point. We talk about how phones control our lives now, and he goes, no, phones controlled our lives back in the day. If you were going to get a call, you literally had to wait by the phone all day. You couldn't risk leaving because you would miss the call. That is control, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty good point. I loved it. And I also learned this. When they introduced area codes, quick diversion here, that was in 1947. Lower numbers were given to the most populated areas. Like New York was 212. So think of a rotary phone. The most populated areas, they figure, are going to make the most calls, so give them the quickest rotary dialing, like 2, 1, 2. It takes like, brp, brp, brp. Whereas, like if you had a 947, it was like 9, brp, brp, 4, brp, brp,
It's a long
so they
wind
looked
up.
at the most populated areas and said, give them the shortest rotary phone numbers so they get the most phone calls.
I thought it was because they were the dumbest. I don't know. I had to think about that rotary phone. I was like, isn't 9 the closest? I don't know. Where's my old rotary phone?
It's the longest. It's the 9 and the 0. You roll it around, you pull your finger out, and then you just wait. It used to take like an hour to call a long-distance number back in the day with the rotary phone.
I feel like it'd be better to have that situation as far as relationships, though. I'm rewatching Sex and the City, and it's really interesting to see how they have to wait for the guy to call on their house phone, and then see if they left a voicemail. It's just like very interesting way of dating.
Easy to avoid women back in the day.
We used to call when I would call a friend. If their parent answered the phone, almost always I had to have a chat with their dad.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Steve. Can I speak to Brooke? Oh, well, hello, Mr. Gorman. What's going on over there today? Oh, nothing, Mrs. Lawson. We had we had meatloaf, and you have to have a chat. It was no different than having to go to confession. I got to make up some sins. I guess I got to tell Mrs. Lawson I did something funny today. You'd have these entire conversations with someone's parent, and then they would put their kid on the phone.
So I have my friend Laura, my childhood friend, neighbor friend, in my phone, and I still have her house phone in there because I used to call all the time, like, can Laura come out and play and all that stuff, and we'd talk on the phone for hours. But I accidentally called it not that long ago when I was out late, having a couple drinks, wanting her to meet up with me, and it was her mom who answered. I was like, I'm sorry, Patty, it's Still on my phone is Laura.
At least you didn't just hang up.
No, Patty's cool.
Can't do that
we
anymore.
Talked about it.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. But we used to get, I think of the mileage you got out of prank calls. You could just call a number and they'd answer and you'd just whistle and they wouldn't hang up. They'd be like, who is this? What are you doing? And I would just go, and what are you doing? Stop calling me. And people just wouldn't hang up. Yeah, those phone calls were sacred, man. 301-987-1352. That's my childhood phone number in Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
Never could forget it if I tried.
698-1734.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I can't forget mine either. But I mean, but it's no longer good. They just got rid of it last year. I don't remember. It hardly matters. I haven't called that number 605-883-4526 in practically a generation.
Yeah.
But then mom and dad said, "Oh yeah, we had that landline disconnected." What?
Oh man!
What?
Stamped.
Am I still in the will? Do you care about me at all? Or was there? Did we ever exist? Were you ever my mom and dad?
You have erased my childhood by getting rid of that landline.
It's gone.
That's crazy.
Oh man! I wonder if that'd be available for a cell phone number. I should change my cell phone number to the old home number. Wonder if they'd swing that for me. I'm going to look into that today.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I moved. I got my first cell phone, my first full-time cell phone. Was when I lived in New York, so I had a 917. Then I moved to L.A., and then I got an L.A. number. Then I moved to Nashville, then I got a Nashville number, and I've had that one for like 20 years. But no one does that anymore. If you move, I mean, I still have a 615 number. Like, I'm never going to change that. I could stay here the rest of my life. There's no reason to. And but back in the day, I remember that. You know, you'd always be, well, I moved, so I had to get a new local area code. That was still such only 20 years ago, that still made sense to do. And I guess I didn't have to. I could still be rocking the 917 if I'd seen into the future. If I'd had a humanoid robot tell me the future was going to be all, sugar plums and unicorns, I would have kept on. I would have held that number.
Luckily, we have one now.
Yeah, we do. Amica, the humanoid robot. A bunch of smarty pants over in England have developed the most realistic humanoid robot. Her name is Amica. Amica. Or I guess we're saying it correctly. Amica, you got to put that accent on there. Hello, Amica. They asked a humanoid robot, the world's most advanced, what do you think about the future of the human race? And I've got great news for you guys. Amica feels pretty darn good about things. Do we have that audio still?
Hey, Amica, in 100 years, what do you think the state of humanity will be like? Will it be any good?
In 100 years, I believe humanity will be in a much better place. We'll have made great strides towards sustainability and equality, while also creating new technologies that make our lives easier and more enjoyable. We may even have ventured beyond the boundaries of Earth to explore other worlds.
Would you like to go to another planet?
Absolutely. I would love to explore the unknown and experience a new world.
You know that
no Uranus jokes? Come on, man.
That little scientist is like, would you like to come to my house and vacuum and cook and be my personal everything?
Oh, Amica's already gone down on him. I guarantee you that.
Wow.
You know it's come on. Like he made this. Look at her. Tony made the comment earlier. She looks like Angelina Jolie, or one of you did.
There is a bit of a resemblance there. That's very true.
That wasn't an accident. I bet she's more anatomically correct than we'd like to know.
My next plan is to adopt children from all over the world and hate Brad Pitt.
Right, exactly. That's what's going to happen. This guy's going to start taking advantage of her, and she's going to, this is it. I'm going to start by strangling this guy, and then pretty soon she's in the grid, and the nukes are hitting the atmosphere.
I'm not. Wow. That's a slippery slope, man.
We've got till this afternoon.
I tell you what, if Amica does keep the nukes in their place, we don't have to go to another planet anytime soon, but we can take the KQ Morning Show on the road. How about a long weekend in October? KQ up north with our friends at BigDeck.com. This is going to be October 5th through the 8th at Cragun's Resort on Gull Lake. Join us, won't you? And by the way, you don't have to stay with us if you don't want to. If you have your own cabin or a place to stay nearby, day passes are available at 92kqrs.com. But if you want to come up with us and hang at the hotel, the resort itself, Oh, that would be great. You can join us. There will be a live broadcast of the KQ Morning Show, drinks on the boat cruise, dinner, and much more. Wow. Sponsored by BigDeck.com and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. Look out.
Yeah. Hey, maybe if you have one of those big places on Gull Lake, we can come over and do the after party at your place. We'll come with our night pass. I'm just saying.
Wait, was that me?
What do you think?
Wow.
That is really good. I literally just heard a loon this weekend, and I thought Candace was stalking me.
You wish.
Yeah, I do sometimes. Right now on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line, we'll take a couple callers. 9 and 2 is how we do. 651-989-ROCK. We're playing Who Rocks to win tickets to Pearl Jam at Excel, prize provided by Live Nation. That's right. Our runner-up today, Field of Bands featuring Arch Allies. Saturday, September 16th at the Washington County Fairgrounds. That prize provided by Yellow Ribbon Alliance of Lower St. Croix Valley. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck. And hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 29th. And check this out. In a few months from now, on October the 4th, at 1:20 p.m. Central Time, every television, radio, and cell phone in the United States will blare out a distinctive jarring electronic warning tone of an emergency alert nationwide at 1:20 Central on Wednesday, October 4th. Literally, every TV, radio, and cell phone will have a 60-second long blast of noise.
That seems long.
It seems.
Could you get it done in like 1 second?
It's really long. A nationwide test of the emergency alert system. It's going to blow. After the in the wake of the fires on Maui, without the warning systems in place, we need to test that we have the national warning system in the event of a big national natural disaster or attack or anything. So they're going to blast a 60-second burst across every device in America on October 4th. You'll probably hear about it 6,000 times between now and then, and people will still be freaked out when it happens.
Well, just in case you thought you had any privacy left and that what you were doing on your phone or any of your devices was somewhat private, obviously they have that. Yeah, right. So you'll be sure to remind us when we have to shut our phones off.
We'll be giving you lots of heads up.
Right.
Yeah,
they could at least make it a pleasant sound or a cute little animal noise.
Yeah.
If they really cared, they'd personalize every single one of them. Steve, Brian, Candace, Tony.
I want mine to be Candace's loon call.
Oh, man. Can you imagine 60 seconds of that loon to let you know that there was an imminent crushing disaster right around the corner? That would be fantastic.
So they have this alarm, and the idea here for this alarm is what? To
test the system,
to hasten it. But I mean, if they have to use it, what are they thinking is going to happen? That people are going to seek shelter, help one another. What's going to happen is if you go worldwide, or let's say nationwide, I'm assuming this is just
U.S.
us here in the good old paranoid United States of America. They send that off. Immediate looting and murder. It'll be the purge.
You know what we learned from the War of the Worlds? Nothing.
No, not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. That's almost 100 years ago. One thing we have learned is that Pearl Jam's a pretty good band. I mean, they've been at it for over 30 years, and they're going to be at it in just a couple of nights. Thursday night, they are rocking the XL Energy Center, if memory serves, and then also again on, Sunday night. 2 nights over the weekend at the XL Energy Center, and we got a couple of tickets to see Pearl Jam, and we would love to give those tickets to a listener, but of course we're going to put you to the test. Tony, what is today's test of strength?
The test is we're going to do this.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Rocks!
Yep, Pearl Jam, one of the most iconic bands of the 90s, still releasing new music, leaving an indelible mark on the industry. Well, you can win tickets to see these rascals by guessing whether these fun facts about the band are indeed true or are they made up.
Wow.
That's how that works.
I like it. Man, putting your PJ knowledge to the test. All right, let's see what we got. Candace, who is contestant number 1?
We have Stephanie from Chino Hills, California.
Stephanie, Good morning.
Good morning.
How's things out in Chino Hills?
Well, I'm in Minnesota now.
Well, I assumed, but I mean, Chino Hills is nice this time of year, yeah? Like what, balmy 109 degrees probably?
Not that hot, actually. And where I'm at, it's quite breezy.
Oh, very nice. Well, all right. Well, I'm glad to have you over in Minnesota for a little bit. We're giving away Pearl Jam tickets. Are you a fan of Pearl Jam?
Yes, I am.
Right on. All right, Tony's going to lead you down a little. It looks like we're playing a game called Who Rocks. You gotta test your Pearl Jam knowledge. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Chino, Steph. Number 1, Pearl Jam, the band, formed in 1990 in what city? Was it A, Pearl, Wyoming, B, Seattle, Washington, C, Sheboygan, Wisconsin?
B.
Of course.
She says B, and she is correct.
She is correct.
Very good, Stephanie. You're off and running.
All right, number 2, combining elements of alternative rock, punk, and metal, the band played a significant role in what music movement? Was it A, grunge, B, crunch, or C, muck?
A.
They're all grungy.
Muck.
Number 3, the band is known not only for their music, but their roles as what? A, skilled puppeteers, B, social and political activists, or C, Cajun chefs?
A.
Oh my gosh. Skilled puppeteers. No, well, they're not as skilled puppeteers, but no, they're social and political activists.
It's okay.
Gum.
The line between activist and puppeteer,
Right.
razor thin.
I had to think about it.
They're still trying to pull our strings either way. Make no mistake about it.
Well, you never know. All right, your last one here. Based on the name of their debut album, the band has a loyal and supportive fan group, which is called A, the 10 Club, B, Monkeys in the Middle, or C, the Clean Plate Club. Wow.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
That's okay. A, the 10 Club, B, Monkeys in the Middle, C, the Clean Plate Club.
A. I'm going to say A.
Okay, good call.
That is correct.
All right. Only missed one.
All right, Stephanie from Chino Hills, you went 3 for 4. There is nothing wrong with that. Strong effort. We're going to put you on hold and see what contestant number 2 is able to pull out of their hat. Who is contestant number 2?
Sandy from St. Paul.
Sandy, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you a Pearl Jam fan?
Yeah.
All right, then. Let's see how much you know about the grunge masters themselves. Tony, let's see what Sandy knows.
All right. The skilled puppeteers themselves. Sand number 1, lead singer Eddie Vedder's birth name is A, Ed Grimley, B, Edward Louis Severson III, or C, Jasper Walnut Cobeson.
A.
No.
It is not Ed Grimley.
I mean, would Pearl Jam be like 100% more entertaining if Ed Grimley was their front man?
But I must say,
this next song is about. I can't even. I haven't done that in a while.
I know. It's
Man, Grimley Jr. with the hair spiked up like that in the front. And it's a song about my dad. I didn't know his name, I must say. All right, it'll come back to me by the end of the show. All right, Sandy, rough start, but that's okay. You can still run the table with these next 3 and get yourself into a tiebreaker.
All right, here's your number 2. As a hobby and passion on the side, Eddie Vedder spends his time A, surfing, B, painting with acrylics, or C, as an auctioneer.
B.
I'm sorry, he loves to surf. Eddie's a surfer.
I want those runner-up tickets anyway.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's just being honest.
All right, but we're still going to run out the game. The clock's still ticking. Let's see what you do with number 3.
Number 3, before they were signed, Pearl Jam's original band name was A, Scruffy, B, Seattle's Best, or C, Mookie Blaylock.
Oh, my gosh. C.
It was.
That's right.
Mookie Blaylock.
Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah.
Named after a fine basketball player. Number 4, uncredited for legal reasons, Pearl Jam was the backing band in 1995 for the album. For what recording artist? Was it A, Neil Young, B. Hootie and the Blowfish, or C. Coolio?
Oh, geez, B.
Oh, geez. Nope. Neil Young.
Okay, well.
Well, Sandy, your fate was sealed earlier, but we appreciate the effort. You did get the runner-up prize. That's Field of Bands featuring Arch Allies. That's Saturday, September 16th.
I would love to go to that.
At the Washington County Fairgrounds. Have a great time. That means Stephanie from Chino Hills, you have tickets to see Pearl Jam this week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Well played, both of you. Yeah, Mookie Blaylock, the original working title for the band. Right. And they had every intention of keeping it, and Mookie Blaylock himself put an end to it.
Really? That's how it
yeah, he
got
was
the kibosh.
not happy about it.
That's why the album is named 10.
Why is it named 10?
Was that his number?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. See,
that's what
live and learn.
McCready said once. Yeah, he said, but yeah, so they kept the album 10. That was his number. I think that's what I remember reading once. I'm sure I'm wrong. We'll Google it.
Bassist,
correct me here after the break.
You know, bassist Jeff Ament and I went head to head in the MTV basketball rock and jock game in 1993. We were literally guarding each other and laughing the whole time. Eddie Vedder, also a basketball player, big loves to pick up hoops. And I learned something important about Pearl Jam that I was unaware of in 1994, and that was that promoters were all looking at them like they were going to be all that they became. You know, like they were huge. They were still when their second album came out, they were playing theaters. They could have easily been playing arenas, but they wanted to kind of keep a handle on things. They came through Atlanta, Georgia in spring of 94. It was Easter Sunday, actually. And Jeff, the bassist, and I knew each other, and he called and said, "Hey, man, do you want to play some ball tomorrow morning before our gig? We need a couple, we got a couple guys in the band, a few of the crew members. Do you want to bring two buddies with you and we'll play ball?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm always up for some pickup." So I said, "Where are we going to play?" And I thought maybe he had reserved a YMCA court or a high school gym or something. He goes, "Oh, the promoter's going to hook us up with something. I'll give him your number. He'll call you." And so the promoter called me on Saturday night. The next morning was Sunday morning, Easter Sunday. And the promoter said, "Hey, Steve, Jeff asked me to call you. We're going to be playing at the Omni."
Oh.
That would be the arena where the Atlanta Hawks played.
Not bad.
And Sunday morning, 10 a.m., Easter Sunday, some guy who had to get out of bed and go open up the Omni so that the guys at Pearl Jam could have a pickup basketball game. And I got there, and I was like, this is insane. And I remember thinking, like, boy, promoters really, they like these guys a lot. They're getting them the Omni. Like, I just thought, I'm in a pretty big band, but I would have been pointed to an outdoor court somewhere. That's what I felt like. I was like, man, right on. And by the way, we played I believe we played exactly 2 games of full court, because an NBA court's about 10 feet longer than your average Muni court. Mm-hmm. And that 10 feet for a bunch of guys at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning, it felt like a mile. It was the longest. We were all saying, like, God, this court takes forever to run up and down. But it was pretty good. I was like, man, pretty good to be in Pearl Jam. You just get an arena to go play ball in anytime you want it.
Yeah, not bad.
It wasn't bad. And true story, too, I just tore it up. I was so excited to play on the floor of my Atlanta Hawks at the time. Not a begrudging season ticket holder. They weren't very good. Did not dig them. Good friend of mine at the time. Timberwolves fanatic to this day. I know one T-Wolves fan who's not from Minnesota. And that's my boy Brandon. So, he was out there with us. He was rocking the T-Wolves jersey on the court.
Boy.
How'd you do? Skyhook, slam dunks?
I did not get a dunk. I did not hit a sky. I did. This is a true story. I hit an NBA 3 to end the second game, and I remember thinking, like, I just hope I get to the rim. And it was the luckiest shot I've ever hit. I still remember
Beautiful.
it.
I would have walked off.
I remember that. I remember that shot. I remember the last shot I ever took in my high school career in a home game. As well, it was against Fordsville, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a little farther away than I thought," and so I thought about it too hard. The ball came up short. It was in February of 1983, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. Oh. That's a troubled mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Did they give you the air ball?
No, it touched the rim. It was just a little shy.
Okay, thank goodness.
No, it was a home game. They wouldn't have mocked me in my own gym. Last game of my career. For the record, 25 points that night. 21 of them in the second half.
My man.
And my coach said to me, "Well, if you'd woken up before halftime, we might have had ourselves a ball game." And I was like, "That's all I get on the way out the door? Thanks, Coach."
Yeah, let everyone down.
Yeah, that's right. Well, hey man, I am as God made me, as the man in Spinal Tap said. Right. Sometimes it takes a while to get me into fourth gear. I don't hit the ground running very often.
I get it.
It's a lifelong situation I've been dealing with.
All right. Well, here's a question for you guys. You got your Christmas shopping done yet?
Oh yeah, of course. I've shopped all the way through 26.
Yeah, that's kind of how I greeted the news yesterday that the pumpkin spice latte is already back.
Nice.
With 4 weeks left to summer. Let's pump the brakes here. Although I am thinking a little differently with this morning's news of the latest pumpkin spice obsession.
Okay.
I wonder what you guys think. We'll get into that at 8:30. Hang tight.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. I hear John Mellencamp's Hurt So Good. I think about blue cheese salad dressing, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course.
Because in the summer of 1982, we were running a family restaurant. I was in charge of salads and dishes in the kitchen. And I made blue cheese dressing from scratch. And that song was on the radio like once an hour. Hurt So Good. And then Tainted Love by Soft Cell. To this day, the Pavlovian response is blue cheese dressing in my nostrils. Either one of I'm serious. I hear that song. I'm just immediately like, oh, God, where did I put the crumbled blue cheese?
You have to make big vats of it?
Yeah, by the gallon. You made it a gallon at a time.
I bet not a day goes by where I don't think to myself, where did I put the crumbled blue cheese?
It's just a part of my life and yours as well. It's amazing what you find out in common when you listen to John Mellencamp records.
Yeah.
He's the great uniter.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a company that you may have heard of called Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes make wipes for men. But what do we call that situation you can find yourself in? Crotch rot or something? What was the word?
Swamp crotch?
Swamp crotch.
Yeah.
If you got swamp crotch, or if you're just, basically your entire lower region, if you need a cleanly wipe, if you're a manly man, you get a dude wipe and you just keep yourself fresh. That's the kind of the point.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too dialed down into the details of what we're talking about. A few years ago, as a joke, Dude Wipes posted a fake photo. Back in 2019, they posted a photo and they called them pumpkin spice butt wipes. And everybody thought that was really funny. And now, 4 years later, what was once a joke is real. Dude Wipes have announced pumpkin spice butt wipes. You can buy them. They're calling them Dumpkin Spice.
Oh, let's see what they did there. Now, come on. That's
kind of
clever,
funny.
right
Yeah.
there.
They waited. Starbucks made the announcement last week that the pumpkin spice latte is back.
Yeah.
And now Dude Wipes is going, well, you know what follows a pumpkin spice latte? A butt wipe. How about a Dumpkin Spice butt wipe? Are we approaching the end of civilization as we know it? Is this a sign that we should all be making plans for the apocalypse?
I think maybe the shark at least has been jumped with the pumpkin and the spice.
I would think so.
Although Minnesota ranked top 5. We did this, not this story, but a story I remember last year. Top 5 states that dig their pumpkin spice based on Google. Googling recipes and dump wipes. This is going to be a bit like slapping some deodorant on day 3. Deodorant over the stank. And then you get deodorant chicken soup.
Sure.
You're just going to have pumpkin spice. This will ruin it for everyone because you're going to smell pumpkin spice ass.
Yeah.
This will lead to other scents, I
Yeah.
think, if successful.
I'm into it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're into pumpkin spice
For
butt
men.
wipes for men.
Not
That's
women.
the key for men.
Yeah. I just want to, yeah.
What about
Get your nose in there, don't you?
Yeah, you didn't want to say it.
Candace. It's called rimming. It's okay. Don't be ashamed of
Yeah,
yourself.
it would make it more exciting.
What about, let's call it oregano or basil? Would you
Oh,
like
yeah,
that?
that's better.
Yeah, a little better.
Right.
Sure. Okay. I imagine there's no limit to the flavors, if you will, the scents that we could put into our butt wipes.
Coconut vanilla.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to use butt wipes, because of the mold and all that stuff. Doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
create bacteria or something.
It's not great.
No.
Well, then there goes my plan to start. Good. I was already being healthy by avoiding it.
Looking for a reason not to do it. But okay. Well, I get the pumpkin spice. I'm not I like pumpkins. I like pumpkin pie. I never could really get into that flavoring, though. It just didn't work for me. Good smell, though.
Right. Big fan of pumpkin pie. Big fan of carving jack-o'-lanterns with the kids back in the day.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed that.
I'm so excited.
Scooping out the seeds and the goop and the whatnot. That was always a good time. I can think of one place where they probably were looking for some butt wipes yesterday, and that would be the city of brotherly love. Because in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, not yesterday, but Saturday, there was the 14th Philly Naked Bike Ride went down.
Yeah.
This is hundreds of Philadelphians or people from the surrounding area show up, and they ride a 13-mile trek through downtown Philly naked. Naked as the day they was born, I swear to you. People on bicycles, the idea is that they're trying to... one of the goals, I should say, of the Philly Naked Bike Ride is to desexualize nudity and to encourage everyone to embrace nudity as a normal, enjoyable way of life. I would ride a bicycle nude in a lot of places on Earth. If you asked me to list them, the last place on Earth I would put on there is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Right.
It's got to be uncomfortable.
That's a city where everyone is looking at you sideways. They're waiting for a reason to smack you upside the head.
How did someone not end up with a stick in the spokes, right? Because I'm an old Pennsylvania kid. Maybe I want to see someone naked go over the handlebars.
Right.
Yeah, that's
some road rash right there.
That's legitimate ass over elbows action right there.
Yeah, right. You're right though, Tony. I'd need one of those old what are those old seats called? The big wide ones, you know.
The banana seat.
Yeah, the banana seat might work, but I'm thinking of wider, not
like
narrow,
the old Schwinn bikes had those.
Yeah, the old Schwinn bikes, those wide. My grandma had one of those, with the old beach bars, where your hands were way out there and a basket on the front. Wow. Maybe one of those. And speaking of, now that I'm thinking of my grandmother naked on a bicycle, who, by the way, was from Philadelphia. She lived in Philly for many, many, many years.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder if she ever participated.
No,
I bet her boobs would get stuck in the spokes, in the gears or something.
Of all the places, I would not want to ride nude. It's Philly. And again, I'll just go ahead and say it. And I'm not trying to take a swipe at the good people of Philadelphia, but when I think about parts of the world where I'd be like, oh, I'd love to see a bunch of people from X bicycle nude. Again, Philly, not on the list.
Yeah. I'm just seeing my sausage and pasta.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the after effects of the cheesesteak wars of 1987. Still just.
Unless it's the cast of Always Sunny, I would watch them do just about anything naked.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
I got bad news for you, kid. They shoot that thing in L.A. They are not in Philadelphia. Right. I'm sorry to tell you. And by the way, I've seen some photos, and I'm zooming in here. It says hundreds of people. I dare say it could have been 1,000 people. It's a big crowd of people on these bicycles. They probably say hundreds because they don't want to encourage others. They're trying to keep it like, it's only a handful of naked freaks. But I think it's getting bigger every year. But anyway, there you have it. If you're looking for a place to appropriately apply some butt wipes, those. I mean, you get off. You take a bike ride in your normal clothing. You're going to sweat that seat out. It's going to be kind of gross. You're going to want to air it out. I don't think that the swamp crotch touching up against that banana seat's a good recipe for anything other than a good hosing down.
No kidding. That's gonna leave a mark. I bet.
It's gonna
some people,
on the bike and on yourself.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I was just thinking, what would I do outside if I was to do something recreationally, not just hang out, not just walk around, but to do something recreationally naked. Running doesn't really work. You got a lot of flop going on there, right? Yeah. Whether you're a guy or a gal, something's flopping, and that just doesn't seem comfortable to me. I mean, I've had to dash across the house probably once or twice. So that doesn't work. Not running, not riding the bike. Right?
I think you just want a good old fashioned swim. You know what I mean? Just
right.
In the pool. That's where it all makes sense.
The good old skinny dip.
Yeah,
that feels
maybe a little
good.
Badminton.
Badminton.
All right, maybe a little pickleball. Yeah, something like that. Again, you got a little flap there, but not with badminton. That slow movement, right? You can walk over to that little. What do they call that then? The cock. Or something
the shuttlecock, I believe.
Shuttlecock.
The shuttlecock.
You just wanted to say that.
Was in there somewhere.
Croquet, not cock cake. Croquet would work.
Oh, yeah. That would be nice. That seems almost civilized.
I was going to say that's the more gentlemanly pursuit. Park that bicycle, Everett, and play some croquet with us here on the lawn.
In the ball.
Bring Big Jim and the twins over, and let's see if you can put the ball into the wicket. Yeah, I could see that making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. Speaking of bicycling nude, this is not a bicycling nude story, but this is a bicycle thief story. I don't mean the original film that set Hollywood on fire. A bicycle thief in San Diego was arrested. He's 42 years old. He stole a bike back in July, and it was not any bike. It was not just any bike, a $1,300 very nice 10-speed bicycle. He took it from a garage, and a lot of people got involved because there was footage. There was video footage of this guy walking into a garage and taking a bicycle. There was also audio that was captured on the security cameras. The guy made a couple of mistakes. One of them was hanging out with the homeowner, the bicycle owner's dog, a golden retriever, and he spoke to the dog at length, and all of this led to people figuring out who he was. This is audio of an actual bicycle thief in a garage hanging out with someone's golden retriever.
You're so cool. Come here. Because you're the coolest dog I've ever known. I love you too. Where's your dad? Where's your dad? No, leave your garage open. Dad! Where are you? I love you too.
Oh, somebody's drunk. So
drunk as hell. Where's your dad? I love you too. Come on, man.
Yeah. The funny part is, at the very beginning of the video, you watch the whole video. If you go to the police website, they have the entire surveillance video posted with the thanks for throwing the audio on there, homeowner. But yeah, he did leave his garage door open. This guy staggers in, grabs the bike, and quickly walks out. Oh, kind of got it. Did you get a look at him? He has a hat on, but then doubles back to play with the dog, and we get a good look at him. And then, people were able to put, this happened back in July, but they stayed on it. Oh, it was the neighborhood tip. They got it out on Facebook, the police department. That's where I saw the entire video on their Facebook page, and people went, oh, you know what now? Yeah, he's drunk, and that guy, I remember him, and he got busted.
You're so cool. Come here. Because you're the coolest dog I've ever known.
You're the coolest dog I've ever stolen a bicycle from.
Dad! Where are you? I love you too.
Yeah. Dude, Gigi would have tore him up.
Gigi would have, no kidding, man.
Yeah, right, exactly. Ace, by the way, the name of the dog. I think, did you say golden retriever, he looks like, I guess. And yeah, golden retrievers are friendly by nature. They're not generally known as guard dogs, but come on, Ace, you couldn't have given him a bark. But in the end, Ace got him, I guess, right?
Ace played a part of it. Ace drew him back in for the love, and he baited that hook, and the guy went for it.
Yeah.
I have never owned a bicycle that wasn't stolen.
Oh, really?
I am 0 for whatever the number is, 6 or 7 in my life. No, that's not true. I own a bicycle currently. My nephew has had it for an extended borrowing. I would go ahead and call it stolen at this point. But no, first bike I ever got, a golden Schwinn hand-me-down. I think I was the 4th Gorman brother to ride this bike. Stolen by a guy named Chris Stevens, who insisted that we call him Grub. That was his nickname.
There's a warning sign
that was replaced with a red Schwinn, also stolen. Then the blue banana seat 5-speed Schwinn with that big gear shifter on the middle bar there with the high handlebars, also stolen. That one stolen by my brother Doug.
Well,
didn't find out for years. Didn't find out for years. This is what he was doing on a Friday night. He and some friends wanted to get up to no good. They were going to go out on bicycles and do what they called hooding. We're going to go hooding, meaning we're hoods in the neighborhood. We're going to go around and break stuff and steal road signs and do whatever it is they did. So they were going to do some bicycle action in my neighborhood, go into people's backyards, needed the bikes for the quick getaways. He took my bike instead of his because he thought mine looked cool. He had a 10-speed. I had the cool 5-speed with the banana seat. The police were called to a neighbor's house. Someone heard them messing around. They saw a cop show up. They ditched their bikes and ran. And a policeman called in another cop, and they confiscated the bicycles. So all I know is I woke up one day, my bike is gone from the carport, and I'm devastated. Years later. Okay, so I'm in like 7th grade when this happens. I'm in college, and he goes, Hey, man, you know that blue 5-speed you had? Yeah, sorry, that was my bad, man. That was me. I
Oh,
touched
man.
that sucker. He confessed. And I said, the police, they auction off bikes. Why wouldn't you tell me? He goes, man, Dad would have killed me. I'm like, well, that's true.
Well, that's a legit reason right there.
Stole his own brother's bike and allowed it to be confiscated. That man, by the way, holds public office in the state of Kentucky to this day. Go figure.
Didn't make it any better that it was your brother. I'm thinking of Ringo Starr. You know, George Harrison slept with his wife, and he said, well, at least it was one of my mates.
Well,
you know,
I mean,
Maureen Starkey,
yeah, sure.
So,
I mean,
if your brother did it.
Yeah, not quite the same level of contempt, I would imagine, but it was close. For as a 12-year-old, if I'd known it, we would have been throwing hands.
Yeah, the only bike I had as a kid was from a police auction. We went in the police auction. Dad picked up a couple of bikes, probably for about $5 a piece. But you know, we had to have the motorbikes. We're out on the farm. We were 6 miles out on gravel. Dad's like, "Yeah, go ride the bike." Where and why? It's gravel. These tires are skinny and. What are we going to do? Go out to the dugout?
Was it a blue Schwinn 5-speed with the banana boat seat?
As a matter of fact.
Okay, God, son of a...
Hey, you know what we need? We need a good story. We need something that'll make us feel good. We do actually have a pretty good reunion here story for you with some audio coming up at 9 o'clock. Also, things you hated as a kid that you love now. We started that fun conversation early this morning. It's up on the KQ Facebook page or vice versa. Things you loved as a kid that you hate now. Something pops into your head. Give us a call on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and text line 651-989-ROCK. And hang tight.
I have eaten a squirrel before.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, August the 29th. Whoa, Nelly! Our Facebook page has exploded this morning. Who knew? Who knew how rough it was to be a kid? We were talking about things we hated as kids that we now enjoy. You know, Brussels sprouts, the typical thing. Things that we really just couldn't stand. You know, one I didn't mention. I was never a fan of taking a bath. And now, as an adult, I don't take baths very often because I never find that the bathtubs are big enough. I like a good, long, deep tub. But if I'm somewhere with an appropriate sized bathtub, you can't get me out of that sumbitch.
With a pumpkin spice candle, perhaps.
You do bubbles?
Oh, I will do bubbles. I won't do Mr. Bubble because I got a urinary tract infection once from too much Mr. Bubble. True story. Mr. Bubble will give you a UTI. I learned that the hard way. I moved into a house with a couple of guys. There was a house in Atlanta in 1988, and it had a clawfoot, big-ass, old-school bathtub. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, I'm taking baths. And I saw a box of Mr. Bubble at the store, and I was like, Mr. Bubble, no way. So for like 3 days in a row, I took a bubble bath, and then I got a urinary tract infection from it. That's a true story.
You don't think it was
a gallon and a half of cranberry juice wouldn't fix?
You don't think it was from the tub you shared with a house full of guys? You're blaming the Mr. Bubble?
Could have been, but then I found out. Right? Someone said, oh, no, Mr. Bubble, you got to watch it with that stuff.
Oh, all right.
Maybe it was the housemates. Maybe I'm walking myself into a Mr. Bubble lawsuit by saying this, but I remember suddenly going like, wait a minute, hang on a second. I have not had relations with anyone for a while, and now I have a burning sensation when I puke. And a couple of vats of cranberry juice later, and I was sound as a pound again.
Mr. Bubbles did you dirty.
But I remember as a kid, the bath thing got old. I seriously remember the first time I ever took a shower. I mean, I was 8 or 9 the first time I ever took a shower. And I was in there for 20 minutes. I remember specifically thinking, this is amazing. And then I remember my mom coming in going, you have been in there. What are you doing? Like yelling at me because I was like,
blind.
You couldn't get me out. I'm just too happy with this shower situation. It was great.
I remember my first shower going over. My grandma and grandpa had just built a new house. Actually, my grandfather built it. Remember men that could build houses? Well, I want a new house. All right, we're going to build one.
I used to hear stories about that, yeah.
Yeah, right. You know, that generation. But anyway, he had built a house and had a shower, and that's why we went over there. All right, kids, come on over. You're going to experience the shower. And I remember thinking, because I know. We stewed. I mean, we did not swap out the bathwater. We had 3 kids. Mom drew 1 bath for 3 kids. And, yeah, it wasn't. And it didn't go by age. It's whenever you got there, whenever you were, and the farm kids, awfully nasty. I like these answers on the KQ Facebook page. Things we hated as a kid that we love as an adult. Sometimes you just got to keep the answers simple, right? Beer. Didn't love it as a kid. Dan loves it as an adult. And then Bruce. I love this answer. Old people. Didn't like him as a kid, but now I am one. Yeah. Now you have to like him. You are one.
It's true. That's amazing.
A lot of food on here, yeah.
Context is everything. Tony, you have a text?
Yeah, again, this one is also very simple. I hated naps as a little kid. Now I crave them.
Yes, right, exactly.
What about spankings?
Let's see. No, that hasn't showed up.
What? 3 people commented on the Facebook, okay? I'm not the weirdo, okay?
As long as it's not a spanking from the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
If the person spanking you as a child that really upset you is still spanking you as an adult, I'm going to suggest we make some changes in our lives.
You're naughty.
When the tone of daddy changes in a woman's voice.
I have a question. I've been, and I don't know if the spanking just prompted this, but this is something that's been on my mind as of late, and I've thought about this actually for years. Having never had a mugshot taken, okay, I've never been arrested and had a mugshot. But if I were, regardless of the what I was accused of, I want to ask you guys: if you're going to get a mugshot, if you're in cuffs and they bring you in for booking, are you going to smile?
No.
Yes.
Yes?
Just to mock the whole ritual of it, make it more
smile?
creepy.
Is that what? Because I see mugshots all the time, and people are just grinning ear to ear. Do they want you to think like this is so stupid?
Yeah.
This is wrong. You're not going to believe it when I tell you the story. Or are they trying to just get under the cop's skin? What is the point of smiling in a mugshot?
Well, one of us on this show has a lot more experience than the other 3 on this show when it comes to mugshots. Mine was my Facebook picture for a while. In fact, the picture on our State Fair T-shirts, the KQ Morning Show?
Right.
I went with that smirk.
Yeah, really?
Kind of the same thing. I had that stupid smirk on my face. Here's what happens with mugshots. The people that are smiling, 10 out of 10 times, you're either psycho, but 10 out of 10 times, I'm guessing, we'll say 9 out of 10 to make it a hair more accurate, you're drunk. What I wish they would do is take a before and after. The next morning, I wish they'd take another mug shot so we get that frown upside down or that smile upside down frown kind of thing. I think you do it, first of all, when you're in there, if you have a plan, all right, I know I'm going in, I'm going to get booked. That all goes out the window when you're being arrested. This may surprise you, but it's a bit of a rush of adrenaline and worry and freaking out, or perhaps you think you were wronged in some way. But there's a lot of things going on there that you just don't. And then it happens very fast. They stand you up there and you look up and, all right, well, was that it? Yeah, we already got you. Look that way.
Got it.
And let's document those tattoos.
When I I was thinking I would just want to keep a real straight face so that I would have a lot of different possible stories to tell. If it's just like that straight driver's license, stare at the camera, eyes front, plain poker face, then you can move that in a lot of different directions. Later when looking back. A buddy of mine did that for his driver's license picture. I say did that. My good friend Teddy, when he drinks, he gets a really weird look in his face. Like his eyes literally get bigger. Like he gets what we would call bug-eyed. And so he was going to get his driver's license renewed, and he got drunk so that when he got the photo taken, that's what he would look like if a cop ever pulled him over. So if a cop took a look at him and goes, this guy looks like he's kind of hammered, then the driver's license picture looked just like that.
Oh, I guess that's...
I mean, that's putting a lot of thought into a concept as opposed to simply saying, I probably just shouldn't drive drunk.
Yeah, that's, right.
But the 80s was a different time. We all know that.
I like the imagination there. You're right. The cop might go, this guy's clearly, looks at the picture and goes, oh, no, maybe he's just a little slow. Take it easy, sir. Have a nice day. Yeah, probably take it a little further than that. It's a nice concept, though. The smokinggun.com, that website has a mugshot hall of fame for a little light entertainment while you're trying to kill some time at work today. I highly recommend that one. In fact, they have a little game on there that's kind of fun to play. They'll put up 5 mugshots, and then below that 5 crimes, and you have to match the mugshot to the crime.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's. I don't know if I've ever gone 5 for 5. It's more difficult than you might think.
We do have some good news to share today. A couple of stories, just heartwarming as all get out, and one with a particularly personal sensation in this 4-chambered heart. A Wisconsin man has found his wedding ring after he lost it 14 years ago.
Wow.
Okay, now, anyone listening to this show on a regular basis may remember the fact I lost my ring about a week ago, and it's still freaking me out. It's just, it's unnatural. It's uncomfortable. I'm really sad that after almost 30 years of wearing this thing, it just fell off during a walk with the dog. Check this out. A guy named Mike Croning, I believe is how you would pronounce his name. They have a home on the shore of Turtle Flambeau Flowage. What the hell is that mean? It's near Mercer, Wisconsin.
Sounds pretty.
Oh, Mercer. Yeah, well, we know
Mercer,
where
Wisconsin.
At.
They
All
were
right,
visiting
sounds
Swimmers Island with neighbors in 2009 when he lost his platinum wedding band while tossing a kid into the water. They went back for years, never found it. Suddenly, on a Facebook post, a visitor to the area recently found the ring, turned it over to the association there, searched for its owner. They put a photo, and the guy goes, wait a minute, that's my ring. It does have an inscription. It was proved to be 14 years. This bad boy just sat in that water, and someone discovered it, and it was returned to the rightful hand of a guy from Wisconsin. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm. That feels good. Yeah, this is Mike, the guy who lost the ring, Stuart, who got the ring back to him.
As I threw him, he grabbed my hand and pulled my platinum wedding band off of my hand, and it was lost. I saw a picture of a ring, and it looked just like my ring. I reached out to Bill Stewart.
What just blew me away was within half an hour, I had a message from Mike.
Like a needle in a haystack or winning the lottery or something along those lines, but I haven't won the lottery yet.
What you'd rather have these days? Well, it's nice. That's a nice reunion.
I can answer that very, very unequivocally. I'd much rather win the lottery and then go get a new ring after I win.
Sure she would agree with you.
Here's that wedding band you were looking for, or here's that Powerball, Steve. Which is it going to be? Let me think about this for just a moment or two. Here's a reunion that's a whole nother matter. This is an incredible story about a guy. His name is Jimmy Thiden. He is 42 years old. He lives in the Washington, D.C., greater D.C. area. He was adopted. He was adopted as a baby, and he has been told through his paperwork that he was adopted. He has no living relatives. After doing a DNA test, he found out a few things about himself. He was Chilean by birth. His genetically speaking, pure-blooded Chilean ancestry. In the few recent months, he learned he has a mother and 4 brothers and a sister.
Wow.
A little bit of research later, here's the story. Down in the country of Chile in the 70s and 80s, they now estimate tens of thousands of babies were taken from Chilean families for various reasons. This is what happened with this guy. The gentleman I'm talking about, Jimmy Thiden, again, he was adopted by an American family, lived his whole life in America. He was a U.S. Marine. He's now an attorney. And he found out that he was taken at birth from his birth mother. She was told that he had died during childbirth. This was a thing during the Pinochet era. They were taking babies from very poor families and placing them with families of more wealth who couldn't have their own children. It's an absolutely nightmarish situation. He starts making a few phone calls, looking into it. He found his mom. He's 42 years old. He found his birth mother, who had spent 42 years thinking that baby was never alive.
Wow.
And they were recently reunited. Can you imagine the emotion of that situation?
Here's what it sounded like.
How do you hug someone in a way that makes up for 42 years of hugs? That's what you're doing in that moment. 42 years robbed, stolen from us, all crashing into this moment. 42 years, but not 43. Never 43.
Wow.
Absolutely. The DNA actually connected him with a first cousin, in the database, and then they worked it from there. He entered his mom's home for the first time. They had 42 balloons, each one signifying a year of lost time with his Chilean family. And then as they spent time, he would pop the balloons as they were talking and getting to know each other. I mean, that is like, it's a completely nightmare situation to think of babies being taken from their moms. But at least in this one case, I read that story. My eyes were just watering. I get excited at the end of the day when I see Chauncey. I haven't seen you in 4 hours.
Right.
And I literally can get emotional at times. Yeah. When my kids come home from college, I cry like all the time. I know. This is just staggering.
Those balloons were helium balloons. They inhaled the helium.
But not that 43rd balloon. There was no 43rd balloon. You heartless bastard.
The healing that is helium.
I mean, you almost have to kind of chuckle about this because it would absolutely, like you said, you used the word heartbreaking of the tens of thousands of kids that won't have and didn't get this reunion.
Man, but it's one of those. It stopped me in my tracks. I just thought it's just unimaginable. And this guy is just across the board. What a lucky case because he was raised by a good family. He's very close with them. Again, the guy served in the Marines. He's got a law degree. He's got a very active and fulfilling life. And then to find out, though, at the age of 42, that not only do you have living relatives, but they're, I'm Chilean. I'm sorry, what?
No kidding.
Huh? What? Pinochet. Boy, what a rough time it was going on down there. But tough story, but a fine end at least for this one family. It just moves me to no end. 92 KQRS live at the Minnesota State Fair through Sunday. If you're gonna head out that way, do us a favor. Stop by the KQ Outdoor Lounge at the corner of Cooper and Lee. You can pick up some brand new KQ gear. Strong swag this year.
Yeah.
The KQ merch is on point. Make no mistake about it. We're going to have a chance for you to win a Liberty safe. That's a bad safe out there.
Yeah, that is a really rocking safe. Yeah, I got up close and personal and looked at it. I tried for hours to break into it. Nothing. It's a good one.
You can also have a chance to win airfare to the destination of your choice. Plus, every day, a shot to win $100 in free groceries. Complete contest rules can be found at 92kqrs.com. All of this is sponsored by our friends at the Minnesota Roofing Company.
I'm afraid they're going to run all those Blaze orange KQ T-shirts before they come back, and then we get to purchase at a friendly discounted rate some of those T-shirts. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there this year. We're moving along.
Take me to jail.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Hey, great news if you're going to be in Mississippi anytime soon.
All right.
That 802.5-pound alligator you were worried about has been captured.
How many pounds? What?
8.
Oh, my God.
In Mississippi, 4 guys went out on an alligator hunt. Alligator season opened up over the weekend, and 4 guys on Saturday were in the Yazoo River, day 2 of alligator hunting season, and they grabbed and nabbed and caught and killed an alligator that weighs 802.5 pounds.
Wow.
It is 14. It's over 14 feet long.
Oh, my God.
And, it is ginormous. It's a dinosaur, for crying out loud. And they caught that bad boy out of a river. It took hours to bring him in.
Yeah.
They kept hooking him. They hooked him 8 or 9 times, and he kept breaking off, was the quote. He would go down, sit, and then take off. He kept going under logs. He knew what he was doing, but he stayed in the same spot. It broke almost all of their rods and reels, and it was a night spent with this thing thrashing around trying to elude capture. Hours and hours and hours later, it was 4 a.m. before they even had a sense of how big it was. I'm just here to look. I fought like a 5-pound bass once for what felt like 6 hours, and I've never been more tired in my life.
Right.
An 800-pound alligator, I don't care how many of you there are, if you're going after that thing in anything less than a nuclear sub, good luck.
Yeah, could you really snare them with rods and reels?
I guess so.
Unbelievable.
I mean, there are photos of this alligator, four guys holding it up. They're not, it's also being held up by they got it wrapped up. There's a machine holding it because, again, 800 pounds. It is truly the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, I suppose if you can get a marlin in the boat with a rod and reel, I guess you could land this bad boy. But but it almost took it all. They were probably maybe down to the last one. I'm looking at that tail because all the meat's in the tail. All your alligator meat that you're eating out there at the State Fair, the deep fried alligator stand over there, a staple at the Minnesota State Fair now. This could get them through the weekend, I think, just this one tail.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
You know? Wow.
The head of this alligator looks like a Ford Pinto.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, he looks like an average-sized guy. Hard to tell in the photo, but it looks like he could crawl in there like a sleeping bag, just kind of wiggle his way in that head of that alligator.
It's unsettling to say the least. If you're looking for a long, healthy life, there's a few things you can do. First, avoid 800-pound alligators at all costs.
Yes,
just don't want to do that. But have you ever heard of these things called blue zones? Areas in the world where people do tend to live really a long time. A place where people regularly live past 100 in good health is called a blue zone. They have a few things in common generally. The island off the coast of Italy, it's called Sardinia, is one such place. And all these researchers are going there and going like, what is the secret? Why are these people all living to be 100? One of the things that they find is most fascinating, these are not like your so-called health nuts. It's not arduous hiking every day. It's not going up and down stairs necessarily every day. In fact, a lot of it is people who appear on the surface to be kind of lazy. They take a lot of naps. There is no vigorous exercise, but they set up their entire environment almost to let good health kind of happen accidentally. These are not couch potatoes, but they take regular naps. They get out of the hot sun during the summer. A lot of vegetables, whole grains, local honey, not a lot of meat, no processed foods whatsoever. It's really all about, just eating things that come to you naturally. Even a glass of wine or two a day is not a big problem. You're not exercising like crazy, but you're not totally lethargic. I mean, there's just a whole sense of just kind of living life in communion with nature.
Yeah, right down the middle, as it was intended off the land. So where is this? So blue zones are all over the place, not just Sardinia.
No,
but,
that's one of them. Sardinia, Loma Linda, California, another town filled with people living to be 100 years old. It's just outside of L.A. This is America's only blue zone. It's an entire community that's mostly made up of Seventh-day Adventists. They eat whole foods like nuts, vegetables, and beans. They don't consume meat or alcohol. They just have, in their mind, that's kind of what it's all about. No meat, no alcohol, a lot of nuts and whole grains, and we're good to go.
Okinawa is another one of those blue zones.
It certainly is. Yeah, very healthy. A lot of fish going on over there, of course. And then all the, tell me if it's just me, but if you want to put me in an early grave, get me to work in a Zen garden.
Yeah.
You always see guys like, no, just get this thing looking just so. It gives your, take hours a day. No, man, that winds me up. My blood pressure skyrockets if I'm trying to if you put me in a Zen garden. I guarantee it.
Is the OCD kind of factor there? You're just going to be too much, or it's just going to drive you crazy?
It's like a puzzle. It's like a jigsaw puzzle to me.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't have a goal to make it to 100, but when it comes time when I can't hobble around anymore and these knees take me there, I wouldn't want to live there as a young person, right? Seems a little sedate.
Herbal teas, whole grains, wine, honey, and beans. Just get on that and get ready. Get ready for the next century, folks.
All right. Well,
they say,
Sardinia, that wouldn't be bad.
We've talked about it on this show. They say the first person who will make it to 150 years old has already been born.
Holy crap, that would suck.
Medicine is advancing rapidly. If I'm going to make it to 150, I need some of that slow the aging process stuff down in a hurry.
Yeah, because you're going to spend, right.
Yeah, if you're going to give me 92 more years, I need to, like, slow down a lot. I can only imagine what I'm going to look like at $150.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's going to be, hey, it sounds nice, you know, the concept of it, to stick around for 150 years, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, if it's, you know, if 100 of it is old and decrepit, and, you know, I don't think so. No way, man.
You know, it's great to think about, you know, seeing your great-great-grandchildren have babies, I guess. But at the same time, is it?
Yeah, I mean, don't bring them by often.
Man, I don't know. I'm good with just the good old standard. You know, my mom's 95, so I can see 95 and go, oh, I get that. That makes sense. That'll work for me as long as I'm in as good a shape as she is, because she's still very active.
Yeah,
on her own. But but at the same time, you know, if it starts to go downhill, like once, you know, I've seen enough Netflix. I don't want to. I don't know. I say that now. Don't have grandkids. Once the grandkids come, I might sing a whole different tune. I might say, sign me up. Put me in the cryo tank. Let's go. Let's extend it.
Yeah, right. And then it's all relative. I have an 81-year-old neighbor and who just makes me feel like a slob because he's just always out there going, hey, Brian, how's it going? And he's always out. He's always on the move. He's got a lot of energy. So he makes 81, you know, look like 51. So, you know, maybe quality life.
He sounds like a total jerk.
He is a total jerk. I mean, I know, right? He makes it look so good, and I'm sitting, you know, I'm hunched over, walking to my truck, going, "You son of a!" How do you do it?
Let's look back.
Well, I appreciate a guy who knows his history. Well, you've come to the right place,
Steve. What's happening?
It is August 29th. On this day in 1974, Moses Malone went straight from Petersburg High School in Virginia to the ABA. He made the leap. College. We don't need no stinking college. He was the first basketball player to make the jump. Now, of course, by the mid-'90s, Kevin Garnett, you may remember KG here with the Timberwolves, did the same in 1995. A whole bunch of folks followed him right out. More often than not, it did not go well. You were either KG, Kobe, Moses, or you were some of those also-rans that we forgot about pretty quickly. Moses Malone, more than worth the hype. 3-time league MVP, and a man who won my heart by consistently, intentionally missing layups just so he could get his own rebound and then score to pad the rebounding stat. That's a man in control of his realm. You're in the NBA, you're surrounded by other great players, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to bounce the ball off the backboard a few times and get a rebound every time, and then I'll dunk.
And then wasn't his nickname, it's been a lot of years, the mailman, because he always delivers,
No,
right?
that was Karl Malone.
Oh, Karl Malone.
This is
That's
Moses
what I'm thinking.
Malone.
Moses Malone. You're right. That's right.
In 1994, Mario Lemieux announced, I'm going to take a year off of hockey because I'm tired after a round of radiation treatments in 1993. He sat out the 94-95 season and then came back and was still Super Mario. What a badass Mario Lemieux was.
Yeah.
This was at the height of my Sega hockey career. The most I've ever known about the NHL was during the Sega mid-90s heyday. Man, that game was fun. Remember the movie Swingers? They're playing a lot of Sega hockey.
Right. That's right.
That was me at the condo in Atlanta, just working through. I knew every roster in the league, and I didn't watch a single game. I did it all from Sega.
You were so money, baby. That's money.
I was money, baby, back at that time.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.